I would like to give you a couple of ideas up front. Why is fair wear and tear important? First of all, the name fair should be the bullet in this. We should act extremely fair. And we act extremely fair towards the customers, the drivers, the sellers, and the end consumers. If there's anything wrong on the car, it is important to know for the customers what is wrong. It is important for the driver to see what he have done wrongly. It's good for the seller, whatever he's selling, that gives a very good condition of the report, and the end consumers know where the car is coming from and where its dent, damages and other things happened. Next question here is why we should charge fair wear and tear, or why we should charge anyway. When I joined the industry many, many years ago, there was no need to share because the car was really always in heavy profit. This was not known in the market, but after we got heavy competition into the market, that means that fair or unfair damages had to be charged. You should not charge this because you have not reached the residual. You need an additional income. This is unfair towards the customer, and you should not charge anything because you want to have a brand new car. The condition of the car is always of the rental length of the car. We go from 6 months, what's different to see, than to 36 or 42 months on a typical lease car, which there is a couple of damages, which I will show you later, which is absolutely accepted. And if you want to remove it, then you remove it on your own account. I would like to go a little bit into the more details. And here, if you want to join, if you want to do it later on, you go to cara-europe.org. You see this task. You go into library. Here's the couple of things we are working on, the deliverables, and then we have the fair wear and tear guideline. I hope it works. Yeah. And then we have a bit of introduction. This is the most important thing. We started the guidelines in 2018, and we have reviewed the guidelines in 2021 with all experts from the market. One of them, of course, came from Macadam, and we had other colleagues who joined us. If you concentrate on this part, here is young used cars and used cars, and then we have used LCVs, young and standards. I would like to drill through that very quickly. Why we have stated the difference between passenger cars and LCVs. LCVs is totally different than passenger cars. You have the loading area, which you don't have in used cars. You have a totally different way of using the car, driving over concrete, driving over other side, over countrysides, country roads, which you normally don't do or should not do with standard cars. And then on the standard cars, we have concentrated a little bit from the inside, from the interior, because that is quite important when you want to sell a car. Nobody wants to have a car with scratches from the outside or even with cigarette burns on the seat from the inside. But I come to that later. Why we have charged young cars as well as standard cars? Young cars is more for the rental car sharing cars who are below 12 months, because damages have to be tackled differently, slightly differently, because if you have a very heavy dent or stone chip on a 6-month-old car, it is not in the fair wear, it's in the it's not the unfair, it's fair. You should charge for that. If you have a 36-month-old car which is going over 400,000 kilometers, a couple of stone chip is standard. But just to show you, we are starting with the normal passenger cars. Here is the introduction, what we have, the return condition. Don't forget to return all your documents, all your removal equipment, what is in your contract or what belongs to the car, the latest maintenance control, and of course the car have to be clean, not spotless, but at least have to be clean. And then if you can see further on is the body stone chip, but I can tell you a lot of things in this area, but I think what is most important, if we go on the objectives, and one thing we have chosen is pictures. Pictures are saying always more than 1,000 words. Here you have to have all registered documents, the V5 in the UK, the Kfz-Schein in Germany, all kind of different papers have to stay inside in the car. That is quite important. And even one thing, it is important as the customer, if you want to do export, the COC document have to be available in the car, or at least available when you sell the cars, and it goes with the official papers. Then removable equipment, as you can see, you have 2 or 3 keys. You have the driver map, you have a CD, sometimes you have a mobile navigation system. All these kind of things have to stay in the car. It is important that whenever you sell it, that this is sold, especially on keys. You will have a lot of problems with the insurance company after you have sort of a problem. The car has stolen and not all keys were handed over to the next customer. And here is what we are saying, and we are working with a tick off green list or a cross, a red cross when the car is not accepted. This is a clean car. You can see it's not spotless, but it's okay to inspect. This is a dirty car, and of course, here with the dirty car, you cannot see a lot of dents. The same is, and I always use the same phrase, if you return in Finland in the winter at 5 o'clock, a car full with snow, you don't see any dents. It's maybe a way of doing it one time, but if you do it a second time, they will charge you quite a lot. Therefore, the car have to be clean, and it's quite important that before you inspect the car, that the car goes through a wash and that you see all dents, because afterwards, it's not that you charge it to the customer, but afterwards, you will have a lot of problems with the end customers or even with the sellers, and a lot of complaints, which takes time, and normally it costs money. Here we have a couple of ideas with the stone chip in the fair wear and tear guide. It's less than 3 millimeters. It is accepted. 2 scratches of 20 centimeters length, 5 dents on a panel, unpaid bumper, and on the van, scratches of 40 centimeters. It's always good when you make a picture that you have a good angle on the photo, that the car is not looking ugly or massive, that you make a Fiat 500 into a van. It should look like a Fiat 500, and therefore we give a bit of introduction how you should photograph the car. It should be photographed from the outside, from the inside. My idea is always that you're not doing it twice when you photograph the car. The first 5 pictures should be the marketing pictures, inside, outside, front and back. And then afterwards, you should photograph all kinds of damages on the car, because as more pictures you have, as easier you can sell the car. Your argument will be, if we show all the dents, the price will go down. In principle, yes. But if you hide some heavy scratches away, the dealer who want to buy the car on the next time is betting much less on the car and giving a less price, which by the end of the game, it will cost your money and not the dealer's money. Here we have something on stone chips. We're using this centimeter measurement. I don't want to go in too much details. Here you see this is accepted, that is not accepted. You see again, here we are measuring it. Another thing is with €2 or €1 coin, if you have a dent in the car, if you can cover that with a €1 coin on the standard cars, you should not charge it, because that could be happened all the time. Bumpers is quite important. The usual thing, you see that bumpers brake parts. This is not accepted. This is accepted on an older car, but you should show it to the end consumers or to your sellers that they see there is a dent, and if they see it, they don't give a reclamation afterwards. Windscreen, quite important. Whatever is inside of the windscreen have to be replaced, and on the other side, whatever you have outside, it can stay, but then of course it will be less chargeable. It will be chargeable. Sorry, my mobile went off. Then, of course, with the windscreen, again, we discussed that. You see stickers, they're in, it's good. Another €2 coin we have. And here you see what is happened with the scene. The same is with the lights. Sometimes you have water in the lights that have to be charged. And then my favorite thing is upholstery. You see a lot of dirty things in the car. If you have a visitor in your car from a takeaway company, and your burger is in for the last 8 to 12 months, it will give heavy, dirty marks in the car on the seats, and this is a way you cannot sell it. The same is when you have a scratch in the car. When you drill in with a big Hilti drilling machine, your mobile phone or something else, what you need, you cannot do that. And here you see the scratches, heavy, dirty stuff. And here, cigarette end. I mean, smoking is not good for your health in general. Don't smoke in your car. If the ash is falling down, it makes very fast a big hole, and that costs quite a lot of money. The carpets as well. I mean, on the light commercials, you see more dirty ones, but here you can see it's broken, scratches. I mean, nobody wants to buy a car like that. It has to be replaced, and if it has to be replaced, somebody has to pay for it. The wheels, alloy wheels, you know it's quite expensive. If you got a scratch on the alloy wheels, you have to do that on a professional way because they're sometimes quite expensive. Here everything goes with the measurements as well. And then, of course, the tires. We have a couple of European countries where it's mandatory that you have winter tires. If you return your car in the summer on summer tires, the winter tires have to be in the boot. That is one of the removable accessories. And then the deep of the tires is quite important for the dealer who's buying it. If he sees that I have to replace the tire, it's good to sell them as it is. And if I replace it, then of course I have to put that into my own calculation. Sidewalls is always to see scratches. It's happened to everybody of us, but it should be mentioned in the report because most of the customers, when they buy the cars, don't see the cars, especially when it's on distance. Safety is quite important. Here you see the maintenance is over. It have to be mentioned. Batteries have to be in, and then of course the electric cable have to be in as well. And here you see the identification of the condition report. Every car should have a condition report where you have the VIN number, registration, first data, the brand, model name, the conversion, and then of course the mileage, the maintenance level, location where the car is staying, because it's important when you buy a car across the border that you know where you pick up the car from, the date of the condition report that is not 3 or 4 weeks old. And then you show all the damages. And with this report, normally on the real side, there is a report. I don't know, I missed it here on the real side. And then you can see how the condition report should look like. And then, of course, it should be in. On electric cars, it should be all these accessories like the cable, the different cables you have, that should be in the car. And that is one of the elements we have chosen on the passenger cars. I just want to go on the light commercials. No, that is the old one, sorry. Here it's exactly the same. We have a little bit more on electrification, and you will see afterwards what we are doing. Here the paper is the same, more keys available. Sometimes you have special keys for the back. Here you see the picture, how it should look like, clean. You should remove all the stickers from the car. Mainly with most of the customers, it is part of the contract that have to be removed. You have to look that you got the spare tires underneath and it looks okay. Further, you still have then the tipper here. You should look from the inside how it looks like. Like the camper here, you got the removable parts. It's like the bicycle thing. And here you have automatic lift. Here you should see how it looks from the inside when you have wooden stuff, if it's broken or not. And then dashboard indicator is quite important. Oil change and that you know the mileage should be on always. Cleanliness, that is quite important, especially on the light commercial. Here we have on the electric cars, that goes for passenger cars as well. You need all the cables from the inside. And then, of course, remove proper stickers. It should not be like that, should not be like that, or here, or this kind of things that have to be removed, especially when the company name is still on. It's quite important. Here, the same as we have in the other reports. And then the same with the pictures. And then the stone chips. You have it on the roof. Here again, we are doing it on centimeters, that you can see on the pictures how many centimeters that is. We have to do it with the euro coin as well. Here you see a couple of scratches here. It's heavily, that is not accepted. You have the measurement on paint. Cars sometimes not nicely painted. And then, of course, it is a minus point for the paint. Unpaid bumpers. Here you see everything what's coming over here. You see the measurements, for example, for macadam. And then here, scratches again. You circle it in if you can see it better on the picture, which you can remove afterwards. Here's a hole. The same with the windscreens. And then here with the mirrors as well. Sometimes, especially on light commercials, they're broken. They're still intact, but they're broken, which if you go again through the MOT, it will not be accepted. Headlights, lights are quite heavy on light commercials. It's always when you remove backwards, when you load something, it's quite easy to break a glass or make a small slide into the glass and have to be replaced. If it's because it's safety, safety always is working. And then here you have the loading area on all kind of things where you have to have a look. You see there are much more pictures on the fair wear and tear report, on the condition report, on the light commercial. That is quite important that you have this. Here you see the loading areas. Here you have a lot of dents normally, which is not exempt here that I mentioned before. This is broken, something is cut out, and this is not accepted. Here you see a lot of dents, something was moving inside heavily and scratched it and broken it. And here the open must be operational. All doors, sometimes you have 4 doors in the back, they all have to be opened. Here you see that's a broken area that is have to be paid for. I mean, that's what you recharge. Here you recharge items as well. And then, of course, you find accessories, which not belongs to the factory. Sometimes you have accessories from the inside where you can store parcels or this kind of things. They have to be in good condition if they have to be sold as well. Upholstery on light commercials is always a bottleneck because these cars are using heavy. And if you see a driver is jumping in and out in 2 years' time, I don't know, a couple of thousand times, then of course the seat is not built for that. Here you see them, especially on the delivery vans, they have a lot of equipment which they use. They have to recharge this from time to time, and then they're drilling it on the dashboard. That has to be recharged. Here's the same picture. See, it's all the same passenger car, the light commercials. Dirty seats or scratches is not accepted. Here as well, cigarettes again. We have not used different cigarettes. Here you see the carpet. The wheels, here this has happened. You don't have so many alloy wheels on the light commercial. You have more the metal rims, and even this is heavily damaged. Here, extremely, and you see it on centimeters, have to be replaced before you sell it. And then here is on tires, the depth, runoff, broken from the outside. This is more important because it's a working vehicle. It have to bring money. Passenger cars is something different to look for, but here you have to be careful that you show your customers how the car is looking like and what the depth of the tires, and if they have to change it, sometimes you have 6 tires, and then of course it's more expensive than it's on the passenger cars. Safety always, safety first. That is no go. It's a no discussion area. What we have here is different measurements and the size, what we're doing. And here again, the identification on the condition report, VIN number, registration. And with the VIN number, your customer can see a lot of more details, what is equipped in the car, if they put it into the system in most of the European countries. And that is actually the reports I went through quickly. As I said before, you always can go, go away. You always can go on the website, on the library, and we always will update the fair wear and tear report in every 1 or 2 years. One important thing I would like to add on is for the future, or for the next report. At the moment in CARA, we are working on a battery health check. We want to see on the electric cars when it's coming back, how good is the battery function. We only had a first meeting 2 weeks ago. That will take a couple of months, but we will update you in the next few months, especially on the CARA Marketing Forum in November, where we are, A lot of experts are working on the ideas. Everybody got a different angle, how to look at it. But by the end of the day, I personally believe that it's important that you tell the seller and even the end consumer, your battery is 3 years old, is still working on 70, on 60, on 50, on what percentage or ever, it should be correct. We all know that a battery will not work as from day number one, after 2 or 3 or 4 years. And we will see, especially in the next near future, price on used car, on electric cars will be under pressure, but we have to be careful with batteries. If we are not doing it correctly, then customers will lose trust in electric cars. I mean, we have a booming way. Electric is not, to drive electric cars not too bad, but we have to be extremely fair to the customer that you can only use 80% or 90% or 60%, whatever, on your battery capacity. As I said, this will come next. Hopefully next year. We have to see where the work group is coming out, but then we will put it here on the website under Fair Wear and Tear, the battery health check as well. This is so far everything. I think I'm on time, Johan. And
thanks.
if there's any question, I'm here.